race recaps,
He's shown speed, he's shown dominance at other racetracks.
pit stops and strategy,
Hell yeah, boys. Let's go. Great strategy, man.
fantasy racing insights,
Talking about being a team in the summer. We did it. Good job, boys.
your weekly home for everything Ryan Blaney and Team 12.
Good job, Timmy. Here's to many more, fellas. Thank you.
This is the Team Blaney podcast.
Let's go race for a championship.
All right. Let's see what's going on here. All right, we're live. We're live. Facebook, YouTube, and we're doing TikTok a little bit separately, but we are on TikTok too. So hopefully you guys tuning in, checking it out. What I was going to do is try to do this by myself today. Adam is actually at the track, hopefully getting some cool pictures and some fun things to watch today. So if you're joining for the first time, usually there's two of us. Like I said, Adam is at Homestead-Miami this weekend, and hopefully he's the good luck charm this weekend that we need, that we're hoping for. I was trying to set us up. If you're on Facebook or on YouTube, I will be able to see, if you text a message, I will be able to see it in the chat screen. Unlike what we do on Monday nights, Monday nights is the podcast. We're also recording the podcast as we do it live. We usually don't respond to the chat that much because we're doing it live. But here on these type of things, we'd definitely like to see some feedback. And if somebody wants to talk about something or saw something that might add to things, that'd be great. And I see that TikTok's working pretty good right off the bat because Chelsea's already jumped in there, and hopefully some more people will jump in there too as we do this. Try to do it more often too. Two things I like to do every week on Sunday, an hour or two before the race. That way I remember to do it. One is the lineup. I will go through the lineup here. I've got a computer off to the side here so that I can actually kind of do it. So if you see me turn sideways a couple times, that's what I'm doing. I'm going over here to get my information and get it right. I do have some notes from practice yesterday, so that's another thing. Saturday practice, if I can, I try to pick out what I can, and some of the communications, especially because not everybody actually rents the scanner thing on the NASCAR app, listens in on it. This week too, if you're going to tune in tomorrow night at 8:30, barring any kind of technical difficulties, we will be doing, once again, we'll do the podcast live. But Adam and his wife Tara are going to be on vacation, so we're bringing in my wife Kate. The lovely Team Mez takeover will happen on Monday night, so that'll be awesome too. Love having her on to do all the stuff. It's kind of different and interesting because Adam, as you could tell, a lot of times he definitely plays the host, and he definitely will go and give a kind of like have us go through things a certain way, and he definitely has his opinions a certain way, and we play off each other like two old fishing buddies. My wife and I's dynamic is a little bit different, and she's got much more different type of take on some things, which is really, really cool. So check that out Monday night 8:30 too, if you get a chance. And I would talk about practice first real quick, because finally this week practice was actually halfway decent here. They were in the first session. The first group, it was 25 minutes per session, and they were in that first session, and he waited to go out. It was really weird watching on TV. They came to the down pit road, and it looked like he was going to be one of the first 3 or 4 guys at first. Sorry about that. Pressing a couple buttons. First couple guys to go out for the practice, and he did not. He actually was at the end of pit lane, and I think they're kind of were picking a spot. This sometimes affects the single lap speed too that guys get, because it will get you maybe not up to speed, or they have to kind of find a place to dig in or get in. So he does blend in, and his first lap goes up to about P7 of the individual lap, and then the second lap was P6. 35.52 to the 23 cars, 35.34. So almost 2/10 back. And at lap 8 here, he actually has to pass a couple cars. This is really interesting to listen to in practice because a lot of times they don't want to get near anybody during practice. They want to run their lap the way they run their laps. They can work on how the car is handling, how they're going to enter it when they're in a longer single car run. But he ends up passing a couple cars, which tells you how fast he is too. Ends up passing the 43, the 34, and then a couple laps later, the 35 car. So I wrote in here a note, and at this point, of course, TV loves to show last year's finish. I guess it's not too soon at this point, but it wasn't that long ago. They were at this track, and we got to see that last issue. Whatever you want to say happened, and even Ryan has said already that we learn from it and move on, and hopefully it doesn't repeat that type of thing. So hopefully today we don't see the same types of things here. 20 lap average. Bubba was a 33.39 and Ryan was a 33.44. So one of the top guys in the 20 lap average. 25 lap average ends up being P1 at that point, about a half second faster than most cars on their 25th lap. So once again, today is a day of just if they can get through restart, get where they're kind of like lined up, and racing, and then racing to the next guy. He'll pass the next guy, he'll pass the next guy, he'll pass the next guy. And when he's, half second faster than 20 some laps in, it makes it a lot easier to pass with this car. They do end up running 36 laps here. And session 2 here, Larson was the fastest guy at a 32.39. The 5 and 24 jump up there in 20 lap average with Ryan. So they were like Bubba, 5 to 24, then Ryan. Top 4 guys with 20 lap average. So Ryan goes off qualifying 10th yesterday. And, that was kind of interesting too, because he was in that first grouping that went out. He goes out 10th and it puts up the third best time. And the rest of qualifying, and just watching like, wow, I can't believe like nobody's really getting up to it. Nobody's getting closer to it. Nobody's getting closer to it. And then this thing happens right near the end of the session where clouds roll in. And it's amazing how these tracks are so, these cars are so close together and these tracks are so heat sensitive that guys will run just that little bit better or be able to find that little bit more grip when they get that cloud cover and run that better lap. And he goes from 3rd to 6th. So it's not really a huge thing. I mean, he's still up in the front. So hopefully this, the next, today's first restart, initially he'll get by a couple of cars in the front that, we don't necessarily see up there and then get to the front. I was going to do, the fantasy lineup right now off the bat, because, this week's fantasy live, I wanted to hurry up and change some guys around. I have Larson in the lineup already. I'm guessing I'm just going to leave Ryan in there for now too. Looking at starting positions is kind of tough because like Chase Elliott starts 18th, but by the end of the stage, he could be in the top 10. Same thing with Logano. Logano's starting 12th. I've got Bell in the garage at the moment, but I may look at this real quick here and see. Yeah, I may stick with it the way it is. I'm gonna look at our feature matchups instead next. They got Josh Berry versus Keselowski. I think that's pretty simple right now. I think you got to pick Josh Berry as the hot hand. So we're gonna make our picks here. We're gonna make Josh our pick. Hang on, it's not working right here. There we go. Make Josh our pick. Tyler Reddick versus Kyle Larson is the next matchup. This one's really great job by NASCAR putting these two together. It could be either or. It's funny about watching Larson the last 2 nights in the Truck Series and the Xfinity is he's his own worst enemy. As good as he runs the cars and as good as he races everybody, and he did an excellent job of getting to the front And the truck race was amazing. If you haven't had a chance to, you know, go to the truck race, check it out. Um, he he spun himself out trying to race with a couple guys, and goes all the way to the back, puts on the fresh tires, and then comes back out, and from 20 something place ends up right back in the lead by the end of the race, last couple laps. So amazing to watch. And then yesterday, he's controlling the race. Now yesterday, partially, a caution comes out and causes the mayhem. But the restart itself, and this is something that people are going to have their opinions on. I have mine watching it a couple times, but to me, he was playing games in the restart zone. Now he's going to say that his rear tires weren't on the ground, and that's why he didn't get a good restart. But the reality is he was doing a little back and forth with the car in the higher lane, the 21, and the guys behind him got patient. They were in the restart zone. It was time to move, and he got moved because of it. So I kind of blame that on him. Why would he be in should be the final restart of a race and play these games? Why not just take it as soon as you get to the zone, take it and see how quickly you can get out in front of everybody else, Um, Actually, a lot of times they say what these guys like to do is go as close to once they get in the zone as possible, if not even a little bit before, and make NASCAR make a decision on whether they were in the zone or not. So this is something that they definitely, is on him. I think it's his fault. He's going to say he got out of the car and kind of said something about his rear tires not being on the ground, but don't give the guy behind you a chance to do that. Really, he's playing games in the restart zone, and I think he paid for it. I see Adam checked in on Facebook, so hopefully the weather's good. Looks like it's good, even though Adam's there. So just kidding, Adam. But the rain should be out of the way. So going back to the pick, I I think I'm going to go with Reddick. Just I think a little bit of Larson's momentum for the weekend has kind of come back to earth here. The next matchup is AJ Allmendinger and Carson Osevar. Interesting thing about this is that Allmendinger is really, really good at this track. He does a great job here, and I don't know if Carson will stick his nose in there, and race hard. So the equipment is there for the 77, and the 16 will drive more. I don't want to put this. He gets more out of the equipment than probably the equipment's worth sometimes. So I'm going to say, well, let's go with Hosevar though for this one. And then the last matchup's Ryan and Denny, and that's a great one too, really, because Denny this is one of those ones. If they get long green flag runs, he's one of those same guys that 30 laps in, 40 laps in will kind of like slowly just have a slower tire wear, run a better consistent lap time later in the run, and start to pass guys later in the run. It's just a veteran driver that he is. But you know what? I'm going with Ryan. We have to from this channel, I think. But it's a pretty good matchup. Sometimes they're real easy. Like I said, the Josh Berry Brad Keselowski one is to me is easy. I don't know what's going on over there with Brad's group, but I think they kind of need to regroup right now at this point. But right now, like I said, the lineup I'm going to start with today is Logano, Larson, Ryan, Chase Elliott, and Byron. And Bell in the garage is my Toyota guy, but I like to look at things right before the end of the second stage to see how many stage points guys have gotten. So let's say Christopher has two really good stages. I may swap him in for somebody who hasn't had that many points in the stages, and that way, if the finishes are equal, or he finishes let's say a spot or two below that guy, he still has more points than him on the day. So that's kind of how I want to work that. So if there's anything else with that on the site here, so get the lineup for today. Excuse me for turning a lot. I'm going to the computer here, but I don't want to use this screen over here. I've got this screen set up for the live, and kind of want to get today's lineup together here. Sometimes their website is tough to deal with. There we go. There's the lineup. Okay. So yeah, Bowman on the pole, and Josh Berry, Noah Gragson up there at the front, and it was interesting. Noah on TV, you know, watching all the different guys go by. He was leading the qualifying for a while, and I was waiting for that. Yeah. Oh, So Adam's joined on the TikTok now too. So, um, like I said, this will probably be the way it works tomorrow night too, just based on the fact that we had some reason having TikTok issues. I don't know what they're doing. They liked us the first week or two that we did this, but right now we'll use a phone instead. It's going to get a little bit different look than our look here for the preview. Um, Okay, so anybody who's joining, if you want a question or anything like that, go ahead and pop it up in there. It's kind of interesting. I been a, kind of like replying to a couple different people on TikTok. There's a guy named NASCAR John on TikTok, does a really good job, and it's actually a minister. And then him and his wife watch the races together. And I replied to something of his, and I think this week we'll tell that story probably on TikTok. I think just to reply to him, because it's the story of how my wife and I actually met, and he was kind of interested to find out about that. So in the lineup, Byron is up in the front there, and Ryan is going to be starting sixth. So kind of interesting to see how the initial start is, because Bowman can pick the inside outside lane for the restart or the initial start. So hopefully, kind of hope he picks the outside lane. That way, it's in the high lane where Ryan is, and maybe he'll get a little bit of an advantage over the guys on the inside. Kind of get by one or two guys early on, but guys like Briscoe, Gregson aren't really up there a lot for an initial start of a race. So it'll be interesting to see how hard they dive bomb it into one and two, and what comes out the other end. Um, Brian, I see Brian doing that with Tim Fedewa. I love listening to Tim every week. If you haven't gotten the HBO Max app yet, um, I know it goes up at the end of this month. I think that's something they knew they were doing right off the bat. They give you like a subscription for a couple months at a certain price, and then it goes up. But it's been worth every penny for me. The way we watch the races here and the way that we do things here, um, we've gotten great enjoyment because they've gotten really close to at least timing up the audio and the visual pretty close together. And Brian, I was going to say Brian, Brian, he will get back to me with a text, like in a heartbeat. Answers a lot of my questions on Monday or Tuesday. Once the weekend's over. Um, so Tim's been an unbelievably valuable resource to us here, because he can give us some insight. But listening to the communication is super. Last week, there was a little bit of a question, and a couple people. This is the only thing I'm going to get on a soapbox for a second. But a couple people after the race were like, "Oh, the spotter did this to him, or this, that," and if you listen carefully to Ryan's interviews after he gets out of the car last week, he says, maybe I misheard it. And that's the part people were listening is weren't listening to, Ryan pretty much says, maybe I misheard what was being said. And that's actually, what I go back and listen to. And it's great about this HBO Max thing is I can go back on Monday and replay it. And um, he's told two out, one in as they come off turn two. And he's told, I think, three times before what happens. So I think what really happened is the 20 car gave a little pump fake, maybe to Ryan. But Tim is, Tim's been doing this a long time, and he's really good at what he's doing. And he had it right, and he had given Ryan the information. It just sometimes, 185 miles an hour, no matter what information you have, um, you might make a decision that just might not be the one you need. So, kind of, take everything that happened with a grain of salt last week. But Tim is definitely the guy that's going to lead them to a lot of things. He's won a championship with Kevin Harvick, so I wouldn't put anything past them winning today. And Tim will be an integral part of that for sure. So it's, Right. I love Tim. Tim is like so funny too because he has like really no social media presence. He's one of those old school guys. He'll text you or call you. Don't be wrong, but you're not going to tweet him, find him on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that to check things out. Um, let's see if there's anything else here. I would ask Chelsea since she's in the TikTok right now. What is the next race you and your husband are going to? Actually, Martinsville. Oh, okay. So next week, awesome. We're doing Bristol next. So and I gotta you know my projects here. I'm not caught up yet. I'm still working on things. Um, yeah, that one's got your name on it. We'll get that together. I haven't done any in a couple days. As you tell, the wall's pretty good though right now. I want to add another row off to the side there near the door, but we're getting there slowly but surely. I'm not going to have every one of them, but there's a couple new ones. There are a couple old ones actually. I've seen the Money Lion one that I don't have on the wall. I kind of want to get up there. Um, Interesting fact: I showed a picture of this wall behind me to Ryan a couple years ago, and it's so funny. But if you look, let's see, I can point up here to this one up here on the top that says avocados there. That you can read it real close. You might not be able to see it on TikTok the way the screen is. That's the thing is that I show him a picture of all these, and he found that one in that corner and saw, oh, is that Haas avocados? He knew what it was right away because actually those couple over there are all dedicated to his dad. So I've got Haas avocados over there. I got all these bargain outlet. There's a Golden Corral, Caterpillar. The stretch wrap is really cool because that's one that actually was one of Ryan's earliest sponsors when he was up into the Arca and into the Xfinity with the Baldwin stuff that they did in Xfinity. And there were a couple times that stretcher wrap, seal wrap were on both Ryan and Dave's cars in the same weekend. um, Caterpillar Daniels down there. I have one that's actually really, really cool. Let me bring this one over. Actually. Okay, there we go. This one. This one I wanted to bring over. This one is really interesting. This is I don't know how many fans will remember this. This is fan first, and uh, this was one of Dave's sponsors in Xfinity Series back in those days with 32 car. Um, and it's escaping me now the name of the company. But anyway, what it was a company that put the names on the car and you bought the sponsorship. So you could put your name on his car, and they would make a wrap with everybody's name on it. And they were, a little smaller than this, but what I did was really cool. Is I kind of put a lot of the TikTok or Twitter handles of a lot of the people that are part of uh, part of Blaney fans, and then a couple of like other people there. You can see if you see a couple of them. There's a couple names you'll recognize, I'm sure, over the years that we've dealt with. So it's really kind of a cool thing that I did. But the names were all across the car, and it was really really cool. We met the guy who put this together. Him and a couple people put it together. We met him at Sharon Speedway actually one time. He came up for one of the events there, and it was a cool idea. It was a cool sponsorship kind of thing, but they were not like the majority sponsor. So they could have a majority sponsor on the car in any given week, and then these names would still be there in and around it. So the majority sponsor let them have, you know, all the fine print basically, kind of like what the advanced car did last year. And it was going really well. I can't remember if it was a little over $100 to get your name on there for the year or whatever. And we all did it. But something happened with the people running it, and it wasn't just him. It was uh, something with there were more than one person, and somebody inside on the inside was basically stealing money, and it ended up kind of going away based on that. Um, but that was one of my cooler designs that we've ever done there. Yes, Ryan 12. Yes, love the car today. I do too. I know that our Discord chat got kind of goofy on that because there's two opinions on it. So, and a lot of our Discord chat is a lot of huge fans um, of diecast. So they look at it from that aspect, which is true. Well, what's it going to look like on a diecast? What's it going to do when you get to put it on your shelf? And I like it because there is just a little more color to it. The white and the blue was really cool, and it's been in Victory Lane, at Talladega. But I think that if you look closely at their colors, they actually have the wizard himself off of his wand has yellow and a little bit of that orangish red coming off the wand. So it's kind of a cool design. Like somebody said there, I'd love to see it. It would look great in Victory Lane. You are correct. Anytime the 12 is in Victory Lane, it looks great, solid. Um, these next couple weeks, really really exciting because of the speed they've already shown, and the wizard on there. Yeah, that's a good point there. The wizard really would look cool on there. If you look up um, Dent Wizard, and the wizard is like in most of the pictures of everything. So that is kind of a good point there. I kind of wonder uh, when they're going to announce the winners of the contest too. If any of you follow Dent Wizard on Instagram, um, Chelsea knows about this. You you put they ran two different posts this week. I think I saw two different posts where they're doing some sort of giveaways for uh, this week's race, and the Instagram's kind of interesting because not enough people. Maybe I don't know. The one post was only like 15 respondents, or 12 or something like that. So I had like a 1 in 6 chance of winning there. That would be kind of cool. But I definitely put in to win like a little prize pack type thing they were doing. And that's right. Chelsea was in the picture of the giveaway. Those shirts, I would love to have one of them shirts. Those things are pretty awesome looking. Um, don't get me wrong. Any of the other ones are great too. Now, did you win that last year, Chelsea, or was that the year before? Ask that question too, because I wonder if it's different than the others. Okay, I was wondering because the other thing I noticed like online with a lot of the stuff they sell now, they do sell they sell these crew shirts, and I found that I really like them. I like how they are and how they feel and everything. But if you notice, like depending on when you bought it, the uh, where's that here? The part that says Cup Series is missing something at the bottom. At least on the older ones. So every time I go shopping now or looking at them online, I'm definitely looking to see if they say champion on them also. I kind of like to make sure I get one of those that has the proper badge on it, the proper wording on the badge. Um, have that on there? Does it have the NASCAR badge on there? I didn't really take a close look on the shirt. I was going to say, Chelsea, you won a couple different things. We've gotten lucky and won a couple contests over the years too. Some really cool stuff. The sponsors who activate with the fans are incredible. The Advanced Auto Parts thing last year. The only thing I have that I was mad about with the Advanced Auto Parts thing was that they did not give good enough pictures of the car to show you um, where everybody was on the car because I think they basically got so many entries and then they kind of duplicated things. So I think from what I saw, I was on this, and I think a lot of people think they kind of duplicated it and kind of put it put it around the car. Just kept going. Like in other words, it was just an infinite loop of names. So I think Justin, that's pretty cool. I think I'd like them to do it again. I definitely would like to do it again and see if how many more people apply. But I'd also wanted them to go around and take really good pictures of the car. Somebody go and do like a just go around and do a slow walking video, so that everybody could kind of pick out their name on the car and where they were. 'Cause we both did it. And we both ended up. My wife and I both ended up on there. It was really cool to see it. But we only got to see it based on a couple like photographs that Penske posted, and then you had to really zoom in, and that would be a cool interaction that they, excuse me. I know that Worth Racing at the track is really huge too. Whenever they're doing an event and they're on Ryan's car, Atlanta, we were at Atlanta 2 years ago, and there had a ton of people at Atlanta. Because they actually had like a section set up. So I went over. Actually, I went over there. I'm like the dog off the leash. I went over there and started talking to everybody over there. So body armor engagement, yes. Now that's true. Body armor does some things. Once in a while, they show up at the track. They had that thing with the remote control cars one time, which was really kind of cool. Saw a bunch of people got to drive little body armor cars, and I think Ryan actually went over there too. Body armor does a lot of stuff off track for them, so they may be sponsoring the car on a weekend, and 2 days before the race, if you want to check it out, they're going to be somewhere in the area doing an autograph signing usually, which is really really cool. I think I've done it at Walmart a bunch in the last year or two. So um, when I get something autographed from Ryan, that's always a good thing to look at is who's sponsoring that weekend, because they have a lot to do with whether or not they do appearances outside the track. I'm not sure exactly. I'm sure that Justin would know, but pretty sure next week will probably be Advanced Auto Parts. I think that Martinsville is a huge track for them, and they love being on the car there. So we've been there in the spring a couple times and seen Advanced on the car in the spring. I'm looking for that this weekend too. Oh, the Blaney stand-up is from the okay. That's right, from the body armor. Yeah, yeah. I had one I got from our local body armor rep here in Boardman, um, and I had it in the room here, but now I have a refrigerator in the garage that he's actually guarding the refrigerator out there in our no in our garage outside. So yeah, the Coke vendor exactly. The Coke vendors are kind of oblivious sometimes to the body armor. They distribute body armor. It's part of their branding, I guess now. They at least bought up the distribution rights for it, but some of the guys really don't know exactly much about it. Like the local rep here, he kind of knew because he had to go to Sharon Speedway a couple times a year to make sure that they have their stuff and supplies, and then to make sure they have their signage because body armor is definitely all over Sharon Speedway. But if it wasn't for that, like your local rep somewhere might not have a clue. Um, there's some guys like do the on some of these Coke reps when they sell stuff to places. They're just some of the smaller places. They just want them to press a button and order their stuff online, and they're not really worried about it much. So it was kind of interesting. I ran into him basically at he was bowling in a league next to my league that I was bowling in. So uh, it was kind of cool. He just turned on the charm. I'm not sure how many followers we have over at the Facebook side right now. Hopefully, some people are watching over there. Definitely have to get more people into the YouTube end of it. I know that Monday night we're going to try to make sure we go live at 8:30. So look out for that. And like I said, that one we will not, maybe not be totally not interactive with. I mean, depending on how the show goes, it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a little different. My wife and I are gonna be a little bit different. We kind of wing it differently. So if you jump into those chats. We'll definitely keep an eye out and maybe talk to you through the chat too if we have some opinions on whatever happens today. I know that we'll probably talk a little bit about the truck race, a little bit about the Xfinity race too. From that standpoint, I usually listen to Tim as Brian, talking. Actually listen to Tim on Fridays and Saturdays. Grant Effinger and the 9 truck, and then the 39 Ryan Sieg. Um, I try to pay attention to them in those races actually. So I will, if I'm watching at home, I actually pull Tim up on on the app and listen to him as he spots for those guys. It's a really huge resource, especially for the 39 team because it's a little bit different type program. It's not quite like Penske, so they do things a little bit differently. And his insight is really, really good there. With like 2 weeks ago, they were having problems with the shifting, and he suggested something, and on one of the restarts, they tried it and didn't lose as many spots. So he's really important to have up there. A lot of this at the Cup level is definitely data driven. So his eyes will tell him something, but the data tells them all something different too. So uh, really interesting, the difference between the 3 series when he's spotting, and how they not only relay data to the driver but relay it to the teams, and uh, not just spotting who's around you, but who's running what line, and how they're having success running that line, whether or not we want to run that line, whether we're too fast, too slow on certain circumstances. So I do love listening to Tim for that. Um, I saw somewhere today that we got the curse of Bob Pockrass today. Somebody had tweeted or messaged that he picked us today, picked Ryan today. So I'm okay with it. I think Bob can be right sometimes. So I think somebody was saying he picked Ryan to win a championship 2 years ago. So Bob makes pretty educated picks. That's the best part about Bob, and he's been doing it so long. I know that there's a joke with him and Christopher Bell or whatever, and Christopher says, "Don't pick me" or whatever. But I'm fine with Bob making that pick. I can't wait to see what happens with today. I think I don't know if Adam still up or on there or not. I'm sure they're doing stuff at the track, but I wonder if they went to the tweet up today or not too. Um, like to hear about the tweet ups when they have them at the tracks. I think Jordan was running it this week. Bob not being at the race this week kind of sucks. It's the only thing I don't like about Fox's coverage of the IndyCar stuff is they pulled and ripped Bob away from NASCAR on the weekends that IndyCar is running somewhere. So yeah, he's out there at Thermal, but really, really miss him at the track. He's definitely got a lot of stuff in memory. He doesn't even have to look some of this stuff up. He's got it memorized, knows what it is, and can type it or say it verbatim online quickly. I think we're going to wrap this up for now. I want to thank anybody who did tune in. Like I said, tomorrow night, 8:30, we're going to do the podcast itself live, but it'll be a Team Mez takeover, which is the best part. No offense to Adam, hopefully he has a good vacation. That's part of why my wife and I love doing it, so they can get away and not have to worry about the podcast for a week. But we want to keep this rolling, doing it live. It's been nice the way we have it set up now. We can actually record it, and that makes it really, really kind of cool. And I'm looking to be able to do some stuff, depending on how quickly, I get my computer kind of running. Sometimes that will make a difference on pulling up things like videos and stuff like that. But I've noticed that there are some ways of doing some of those things in here. So um, hopefully we'll be able to do that in the future too. Uh, but like I said, this program, what it also does for us is we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and like I said, hopefully TikTok again soon with the program. Facebook and YouTube will actually then replay it and just add it to the thing, so it'll be in there. Um, the recording end of it is happening as we're speaking, and when we're done, I can actually pull the audio file pretty quickly and have it within time of downloading it, have it up into our um, anywhere that you download the podcast. So that's another thing that's been really, really nice about it. We were trying to make everything as streamlined as possible so that we can do it easily, so that even I can do it. And that would be kind of cool this week. So hopefully I don't bobble too much of that, and you guys get all your info that you want to get from here at Team Blaney. So, like I said, good luck today with watching the race. Hopefully, everybody has a good time. I try to pipe into the Discord chat once in a while if I can, if if things aren't too busy on the track. But it's so easy. Okay, thank you. It's so easy. Okay. Yeah, I know. But hopefully we catch you guys here tomorrow night, 8:30. And thanks for tuning in once again, Team Blaney. Like I said, if you know anybody and haven't picked this up yet or seen this, or you know, invite them. Tell them what we're doing here. We're trying to get more people together, more fans together, trying to get everybody organized together a little more, and let everybody root together. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention while we're talking about this, you want to check out the Ryan Blaney Family Foundation online also. Um, and they are at the track this week. They have their tent there. I believe they will be at Martinsville next week. But if you go to their website, there actually is a page that shows you what tracks they're going to this year. I know a lot of people. We posted something on Facebook yesterday, and a lot of people piped in, "Oh, come to our track, come to our track." They're trying hard to go as many places as possible. A lot of the problem is space. All these tracks. Make them pay for certain spaces, or it makes it harder for them to be in certain spaces. But they have found some help. They found, because it's a charity, they're not there with a big budget, like the apparel companies are or something like that. But they try to pop up where they can. So if they don't come to your city, they do have everything that you see at the tents and everything you see in those pictures available online too. And they do a great job of shipping it out to you and get it to you with a couple days. So yeah, so make sure you go see Patty at the tent if you're at the track today. And oh, there's Jerry. Hey, Jerry. Next time we do this, maybe I'll just put you in here too. I'll throw you an email and put you on here too. Maybe the two of us could do it. Um, that's Jerry Mariotti, one of our big reporters from the track sometimes here. And all right, so there. Let me check out. Let's get going. Let's get the TVs all warmed up, get things going, get the snacks ready, and hopefully we all have a great day to watch and enjoy. And you know, uh, let's have a good race. And you know what? Hey Jerry, you on your computer right now? I just saw that. He says he's down. He's on his computer, or you know what? He could do it on his phone too. That would be funny. I wonder how that would work live. He's on his phone. I don't know if I could do that. I'd have to get out of the stream I'm on right now on TikTok. So that would make it kind of tough to do. All right, we'll try and figure it out though ahead of time. One of these times we'll do it on a Sunday when we do pre-race. We'll have two or three of us in here talking, not just me. All right, guys. Hey, everybody, have a good race. We'll check back with you tomorrow night, 8:30. Make sure, like I said, 8:30 tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern. Team Blaney will be live doing the podcast right here on YouTube, on uh, Facebook, and on TikTok. Like I said, hopefully TikTok will play along at some point, and we'll be able to put them uh, where they're integrated with the regular stream too. But if not, like I said, you got three places. Come check us out tomorrow night.